Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. Training camp is here and Phil is grumpy. Philadelphia 76ers first pick of the NBA draft, Ben Simmons, breaks his foot and will miss 3 months. Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, and Kristaps Porzingis, the Knicks Big Three, how do they compare with other elite teams' Big Three? Coming up on Knicks Home Court. Welcome to Knicks Home Court, episode number 10. Training camp has begun for the Knicks. They're at West Point, and I've seen a few clips of it. I've seen them running up and down, and they're getting up and down the court. I see Derrick Rose going at it with Jennings, and Derrick Rose did a couple of impressive moves they've showed. Carmelo Anthony looks like he's in season form. He did a back down with Kuz and just knocked him off his back. Turn around, Patton and Jay, bully ball by Carmelo Anthony. But again, it's just training camp. I'm already excited. I'm ready to go. But it's training camp. And then there was an incident where, the Knicks were running the triangle. And I guess as Phil was watching. And it's so funny is that Phil is there on everything. So it just kills the narrative that he won't be involved. He's fully involved. He's fully invested. Just wanted to say that real quick for the hot takey people out there. So Phil was mad because they weren't feeding the post in the triangle, which is important because remember, like I said before in previous podcasts, when you feed the post guy is the quarterback. It's like you feed the post and it's like everybody get open, and his job is to hit the cutters or turn around, post up, do and make a move and try to score or kick it back out. So you have to pass the ball into the post. You're basically getting penetration without dribbling. It's not always easy, but that's a big component of the triangle. If you see it with Jordan, if you've seen it with Kobe would feed the post and maybe run fake back for the jump shot. I've seen Jordan many times feed the post, the guy hold it up, Jordan to go back door, they'll give him the ball for the dunk. A lot of that has happened. That's why he stressed that. Now, one thing I want to say as a caveat or as a warning, Knicks fans, be warned. When you see the preseason game and the first few games of the season, you may see a lot of errors when it comes to the half-court offense. Because it takes a lot of repetition for players to know each other. It's like I said in football plays, you gotta know the routes. You gotta know which way where players like the ball and stuff like that. So it's gonna take some time. And the fact that Hornacek is coming out and saying, well, it's complicated. There's so many different options they need and things like that. He's already letting you know there will be mistakes. He's seen mistakes in practice. Anytime you see the highlights on Knicks.com or the Knicks app, they're showing you the best parts of the day. They're not showing you all the mistakes and stuff that's taking place. But nonetheless, I am really excited. Knicks' first preseason game is October 4th against Houston, which is weird. They're going to be out in Houston. But either way, it's their first preseason game. And I'm looking forward to it. Again, Knicks fans are crazy. We're going to watch the games and we're going to judge them. And if they lose by 15, they lose by 30, we're going to be like, oh, God, it's over. We're going to go 0-82. Nah. Take it with a grain of salt. I, for one, want to watch most of the game for the simple fact is I want to see the other players. I want to see Kuz in an NBA setting. I want to see Willie Hernan-Gomez or Billy in the NBA setting. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how the first 5 minutes of the game, how they, get together. And I want to see how this running system is going to be implemented. I want to see some of those things going forward, So, October 4th, here we go. And that's the Knicks news of the week. We're going to get into the NBA news coming up. NBA news. Ben Simmons, Philadelphia 76ers first pick of the draft, NBA draft, will miss 3 months with a foot injury. This is messed up. You see, I thank my dad for this. I used to be just a fan of the Knicks. And in football, just a fan of the Giants. And in baseball, just a fan of the Yankees. And my father always said to me, be a fan of the sport first and then be a fan of your team. Therefore, if your team isn't doing well, you can still enjoy the sport. And I really love that because now I really enjoy basketball because, when Jordan played, I hated him, so I missed a lot of his games. Now I look back at his games. I actually downloaded some of his games just to look at, the genius of his basketball playing abilities. So the reason why I mention that is because I wanted to see Ben Simmons play. I think he looks good, man. He might be a superstar in this league. I wanted to see him. It's never good when a young number one pick of the draft is hurt. It's never good for the league. It's not good for me. I'm a Knicks fan, but I want to see it. I'm sorry. I love the NBA, not just the Knicks. So anyway, he's going to miss 3 months. And basically, I don't know, man. His first year might be just done. He might be like, and it's messed up because the same thing, Jabari Parker, I haven't really seen much from him because of that injury. And maybe this year Jabari Parker's going to blow up. But those injuries, man, early on, what happens is, first of all, he has to get used to the conditioning of the NBA. So if he's going to miss 3 months, how's he going to stay in shape? And he won't guarantee you he will not be in NBA shape once he heals up. So basically, this year may be a wash. I mean, the only good thing is he injured it not during the season yet. So what? He got October, September, November. He can be back sometime in December, maybe mid-December. And I think by February, he'll be probably, playing a lot better by then. Up to speed. So maybe we still can see. Rookie of the year is done. But maybe we can still see, the greatness that could be Ben Simmons. I'm looking forward to the rookies, and I'm looking forward to him. So it's a sad thing for him, and it's messed up for Philadelphia 76ers fans. Chris Bosh is unhappy with the Miami Heat. As I mentioned on the last podcast, Chris Bosh failed the physical, and I feel bad when athletes come to these kind of crossroads. You see boxes too long. You see injured players that want to continue to play. Even though it could be a life or death situation for Chris Bosh, it's very difficult because you don't know what side to be on. I don't know if I should be on Chris Bosh's side. I don't know if I should be on the Miami Heat side. It's just a messed up situation. I would love to see Chris Bosh play. It's a messed up situation. He's, and most of the time the athletes starts getting ugly. Right now, the situation between Miami Heat and Chris Bosh is ugly. It's ugly. And I mean, you got one guy fighting for his career, and you got a business, a corporation, because that's what basketball teams are. Are they being honest? I mean, he failed the physical. It's not like he's denying that he failed the physical. Do they care about his well-being? Do they care about the cap space? Like he said, you're not going to turn my medical situation into cap space. But dude, you're going to get paid no matter what. So, shit, if they can get a medical exception for you and you can come back and play for the minimum, you still get your money and you still get to play. I don't know the rules on that. I'm just saying that, okay? But it's a just really sad situation for both parties. Trust me. I don't think there's any malice on the Heat's part. I don't think the Heat are being malicious in this situation. I don't think so. I don't even think Chris Bosh is being malicious. I think you have an athlete that's seeing his basketball mortality flash in front of him, his career about to be over, And it's hard to deal with. He might be quite emotional behind that. Let's be real. I would be. This is what he's known his entire life. So I hope that situation gets resolved. I hope that Chris Bosh can play basketball again. But I also hope that he can be healthy to play basketball. Because the one thing I don't think the Heat don't want him. If he's healthy, you think they wouldn't want him? He's a great player. Make no mistake. And without Wade there, without LeBron there, he was going to put up some big numbers. Best believe that. Now, I got to mention this is about the Knicks. I just want to say this real quick. Joakim Noah skipped the dinner at West Point. I'm not going to get all into it, but he just disagrees with war. So he figured he didn't, look, I'm not going to say I disagree with him or agree with him. He just felt that he didn't want to go to dinner because he doesn't like the idea of war. He doesn't like these young men put into battle and also killing other young men from other countries, which I feel him on that. We have these powers that be that say, I disagree with your country, and we send other people's kids out to fight these wars. I agree with that part. I don't know what sitting out is going to do, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I understood. And then Noah met with the cadets and let them know, listen, man, it's not on you. But by me sitting out, I'm getting to voice my displeasure with all the wars that we get into and bring awareness to the situation. Again, protest is about bringing awareness. Okay? Just wanted to mention that. And again, as I said on my last podcast, I think there's something going on with Russell Westbrook and KD. Now, there's reports that saying that they didn't value each other. I don't know, but there's something going on there. So I'm not going to keep saying Kevin Durant's a sucker or not reaching out. I don't even know. I'm just saying I know that there's an issue. You played with this guy for a number of years. You left the team, and you still haven't called him. Now you're in the preseason. Really, players speak during the year, during the season. The offseason, you couldn't reach out to homie. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. There'll be more on that to come to the forefront before you know it. So that brings us to the end of NBA news. And on another note, I want to say, obviously there's more news. But when I do my NBA news segment, I'm only going to talk about things that interest me. I'm not going to talk about everything that's going on because it's not an NBA podcast. It's a Knicks Home Court podcast. So I'll talk about a couple of things that may interest me or some of the bigger news in the NBA. But for the most part, I'm going to pick one or two topics, maybe three, or maybe just one topic if it's big enough. So I just wanted to just put that disclaimer for all the people say, oh, there's more things going on in the NBA. Get on out of here with that. All right. We're going to get into the Knicks topic of the week coming up. Knicks topic of the week. Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, and Kristaps Porzingis. That is the Knicks Big Three. How do they compare to other teams' Big Three in the Eastern Conference? Let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers, NBA champs. Now, who are their Big Three? Because we know who their Big Two is. But is it LeBron, Kyrie, and Love? Or LeBron, Kyrie, and Tristan Thompson? I don't even know. I don't even know which way to go with that one. But let's just take I would say Tristan Thompson, but I'm going to say Kevin Love. He's originally a part of the Big Three. Let's just go with that. Tristan Thompson's like 3A. Let's do a little comparison here. LeBron, Carmelo. Big edge LeBron, but well, actually not really a big edge. In their careers, yes. Head to head, no. But nonetheless, edge to Cleveland Cavaliers on that one. Kyrie and Derrick Rose, edge to Kyrie. Just because of health, even though Kyrie, he gets hurt a lot also. But still, I'm going to give edge to Kyrie. Kevin Love, Kristaps Porzingis, or Kristaps Porzingis, Tristan Thompson. Honestly, I give the edge to Kristaps over both of those players. Only because Kristaps is better defensively than Kevin Love. Far better. And he's better offensively than Tristan Thompson. So, I think we measure up. It's not like Carmelo can't hold his own against LeBron. And it's not like Derrick Rose, if healthy, can't hold his own against Kyrie. But I give the edge to Cleveland. But I think we match up well as far as that. I think we do. People might say, oh, Knicks fans are delusional. No, I'm just looking at the players. Let's look at the Toronto Raptors. We know it's Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. Who's their third best player? I would have to say Valanciunas. I can't say his name. Valanciunas. Let's just say the big guy in the middle named V. I cannot. I've tried. I cannot pronounce the guy's name. So now, Kyle Lowry, Derrick Rose. Again, I'm giving people edges because of health. I shouldn't. Also, Kyle Lowry had a very good year last year, so I'm going to give him the edge. Again, when the season starts, it's still a wild card because Derrick Rose, we don't know how he's going to play. If he plays like half the player he was, or a little, if he plays like he did at the end of the season, that gap will be closed. DeMar DeRozan, Carmelo Anthony, I'm going to go edge Carmelo Anthony. DeMar DeRozan is not a better player than Carmelo Anthony. Not yet. He misses a lot of shots. He takes a lot. He's a high volume shooter. He gets to the free throw line, but he's not as good as Carmelo. I don't think I need to go into detail again with the bully ball Melo. Porzingis against Big V. Again, I'm just giving him a nickname because I cannot pronounce it. I'm going to go... It depends. I am very biased towards Porzingis. I think he's going to be a superstar in this league. I think he's going to be I think if healthy, he may be a legendary player in this league. I'm sorry. That's just what I believe. I'm not saying this because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm looking at his 7'3" and that can do things that guards can do. It's ridiculous. Come on. So I'm going to give him the edge over Big V. Let's move on to another team. Let's look at the Boston Celtics, who happen to also be in our division. Their big three: Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford. Who's their third best player? Let's just say Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is a very good player. Very good player. Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose. Edge, Isaiah Thomas. I'm going to give a lot of these guards edges over Derrick Rose, but with an asterisk. We don't know what Derrick Rose we're getting yet. Derrick Rose can easily flip the switch on all of these teams. That's how important he is in his role. So I'm going to give an edge to Isaiah Thomas because he was an all-star last year. He's a very good player. I've been saying it for a long time. Dude is nice. Okay? Al Horford. I don't know. I could say Carmelo. I could say Porzingis. I'm going to say Porzingis. I'm going to say Al Horford, Porzingis. I'm going to go with Al Horford only because he's established veteran and established star. But by midseason, it may be Porzingis. Shit, within the first week, it may be Porzingis. That's how good he is. I really believe the numbers he will average this year. I'll talk about that later. Jay Crowder, Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony gets the edge. Jay Crowder's a hell of a defender, but Anthony's a better player. There's just no doubt. He's the best player in the division, period. Shit, they might have even the second best player in the division with Porzingis. And if Derrick Rose plays like Derrick Rose, they can have the third best player in the division in Derrick Rose. That's very nice. Let's look at the Indiana Pacers. Let's look at their big three. Paul George, Monte Ellis, Jeff Teague. They have Al Jefferson now. Let's go right at it. Carmelo Anthony, Paul George. I still think Carmelo Anthony's a better player. I know a lot of people will say, oh, get out of here, Paul George, he's a two-way player. Look, man, His career averages are lower than Melo's. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. I still have to go with a guy who's been doing it for his whole career against a guy who's had 3 or 4 good seasons. Sorry, I'm going with Melo. I would rather right now, if I can have Melo or Paul George at this point with the Knicks team that I have, I'm going with Melo. A lot of people might think I'm a fool. We'll see. All right, so Monte Ellis, Derrick Rose. I think this is even. Monte Ellis and Derrick Rose, I think is even, regardless of the health of Monte Ellis. He's never been really a good shooter. He's a good NBA player, but he's never really been a good shooter. He's a volume scorer. He doesn't play D. He's undersized for the position. So I think I'm going to say even. Actually, I'm going to give a slight edge to Derrick Rose for what he does, what he can do for the Knicks, as opposed to what Ellis can do for the Pacers. Jeff Teague, Porzingis. I'm going Porzingis. Another easy one. Jeff Teague, he's a very good player, but he doesn't always bring his A game. You know, he doesn't. If he was so good, trust me, Atlanta wouldn't have just let him go like that. Actually, I wouldn't have just let him go like that. I would have tried to play the 2-guard offense. I would have played 3-guard. I would have tried to play him and Schroeder together with Bazemore at the 3. I would have done something similar to that. Something like that. You know. And played a little speedball with them teams. So that's the Pacers. Who else I have left? Let's look at the Hawks. They're big 3. Dwight Howard. Yes, Dwight Howard's on the Hawks. They finally got him. Dwight Howard. Paul Millsap. And Dennis Schroeder. I guess that's their big 3. I don't think I need to get in details. The Knicks' big 3 is better. Plain and simple. Melo is the best player out of all of those players. And I'm going to give Dwight Howard an edge over Porzingis. Again, not for long. Derrick Rose and Teague, a hair of an edge to Teague. Which also, after we see Derrick Rose, may only last 2 minutes. And by the way, I think Derrick Rose can be a Stephon Marbury type. You know, because Stephon Marbury wasn't dunking on people like Derrick Rose. And Stephon Marbury was not a bum. Go check his records. He was not a bum. Check him out. Let me think of any other teams worth mentioning right now. Not really. There's really no other teams to mention. I think those are the top teams. I think it's Cleveland, Boston, Toronto, Indiana, Atlanta. So I think that when I'm looking at these teams, Cleveland is the only team that may have a clear advantage, big 3 wise over the Knicks. I don't see it in Toronto. I don't see it in Boston. I don't see it in Indiana. And I don't see it in Detroit. However, always remember, big 3 is just a phrase we came up with. How is the entire team? See, one thing I like about Cleveland is they're built with a lot of good role players. They have a lot of guys that know their role and just play their situation. So Cleveland is very good. They're the champions, obviously. But I want to just move on to a side note. I did say I was going to speak about Kristaps Porzingis. I think this year his line I think it may be, I think he's going to average about 18 points, 18 to 19 points a game. I think he's going to be like 8. I think he could be a double-double this year. 18, 10, 2 assists and 2 blocks. I think that's the numbers he'll put up. And the only reason he won't put up more scoring is because the Knicks are going to have balanced scoring. But he can easily average 21 to 22 points a game. I mean, we're going to see some big nights from Kristaps this year. Definitely. I am hyped for this season. I am hyped. But this brings us to the end of Knicks Home Court. And you can find Knicks Home Court episodes on iTunes under the title Life Culture Sports no spaces. You can also visit the website Life Culture Sports, and you'll have all the Knicks podcasts. Actually, you can also, I have on the website from episode 1 all the way up. I was going to put the episodes up as archives on iTunes, but the preseason's upon us. Everything's upon us quickly. I don't think I'll go backwards. But if you really want to hear it, hopefully you do, please visit my YouTube page, Knicks Home Court, or check the website, lifeculturesports.com. And if you have any suggestions, anything I could do to make this show better, please let me know. Email me at knickscourt@gmail.com. Everybody have a blessed day, blessed week. Knicks basketball's here, baby. Speak to y'all later. Peace.